Well friends, good evening to you all, respected participants, respected well-wishers, teacher, friends, educational officers, my dear students, all the aspirants who are to appear TET examination, means who are so much interested to enter into the sector of education, having the identity of teacher, friends. Before starting the class, I must have to express my sense of gratitude to you all, to all my well-wishers, because you are always standing behind me. And at the same time, I must have to express my sense of gratitude to the support hand, technical support hand, to Google Authority, because all the diagrams I am repeating the same thing always, because I must have to acknowledge the help of internet, means Google Authority, because I am taking the help so that I can place all the important diagrams considering the nature of the contents of the classes. Friends, if you have any question or query, you please write to my mail ID or you can write to my WhatsApp numbers. You see, in the last class, which was class number 7, means which was continued on 18/7/2020, relating to the main heading concept of pedagogy. We are discussing about this main heading. It's a very much extensive concept, or the unit is very much extensive, and so that's why we are to continue the classes. And this is class number 8, and in the last class we had discussion on number 5 principles of teaching, that is whole 2 parts. On that day I couldn't help you to understand or get all the information relating to the diagrams concerning to the whole 2 part principle, and that's why analysis to synthesis I discussed with you so much well. Concrete to abstract, which was very much well discussed, and known to unknown is also discussed so much well. 4th one, simple to complex, and 5th one is whole 2 parts, which I discussed in the last part, but it was not completed in that class. So friends, today we are to complete this whole 2 parts, means this principle. And in my last class I told you that Herbert Spencer developed 10 golden rules of education, 10 golden rules of teaching, and those 10 golden rules are treated as the maxims of teaching. So once there is the question of principles and principles of teaching, at the same time maxims of teaching, then you are to see those 10 golden rules of Spencer, and in the list of those 10 golden rules, whole 2 parts is also included, and that's why whole 2 parts can be treated as one of the most important principles. At the same time, it can be treated as one of the most important maxims of teaching. Let us go back to the next slide. Friends, I left to discuss this diagram which I help you see in the last class on 18th of July. Today I told you that I will discuss in the next class, because on that day we had much more time we cross, and that's why today I have again help you to see this diagram. Simple to complex means from simple part, this diagram has link with this principle of simple to complex, because before starting to discuss about the whole 2 parts, means we completed the discussion concerning to the simple to complex principle of teaching, and this diagram I couldn't complete in my last class of 18th July. And today again let us see simple, where to start. This is the baseline. Pause of reflection, Buchan pause of reflection is there. Writing has also special importance in simple to complex learning situation, or once you apply the principle of simple to complex, then pause of reflection has special importance. And then writing has also special importance. You are to use the blackboard and other devices which are available in your classroom. Self-assessment of the students, at the same time self-assessment of yourself, whether you become successful, successful in touching the heart of the students or not, whether your teaching has become joyful or not, you are to see it. And there is the necessity of assessing your self-activity. At the same time, you are to assess the performance level of the students by assessing their self-performance level. Large group discussion has special importance once you apply the principle of simple to complex, large group discussion. Say in higher secondary level of our class, basically we are to face more than 100 or 150 or 200 students. So in large group discussion also, simple to complex principle can easily be applied. Think, pair, share. Think, pair, share means students are to be given chance to think group by group, and they are to be given the chance to share their views. Means one group will think and they will share their views to the another group. You will think, you are to make some groups, and among the groups different activities which you are to deal, you are to give them, distribute them, and accordingly they are to think and they are to share. Means each of the groups are to share in the classroom, and that technique can be applied. These are the skills or techniques which can be applied once you are to apply simple to complex principles of teaching. Informal groups, you can make some informal groups, not formal. Informal groups, you see, considering the situation, informal groups can be made and some activities can be given to them. Then triad groups can be made. Triad groups, three segments group can be, triad groups can be made. I will help you to see how triad groups concept can be applied in the field of teaching. Triad group concept can be applied. Group evaluations can be applied. Means we can evaluate the performance of different groups, and with the help of the evaluation of different groups in the class of 100 students or 200 students, we can evaluate the individual performance level or learning level of the students in the class when we apply simple to complex principle of teaching. Peer review has special importance. Means we can help, with the help of peer review, we can get the information, perfect information concerning to the learning of the students. Brainstorming has special importance. We have to storm the brains of the students so that they can, become much more conscious and much more motivated or interested towards the learning situation. And brainstorming can be applied. This technique can be applied in the classroom situation. Case studies can be applied. If any students who are very much backward, you can study them personally. You can go to their family. You can study, and with the help of case study, we can understand the capabilities or problems of individual students. Hands-on technology. By the use of technology, we can help our students to understand so much well. The concept which we are to deal. Interactive lecture means we can interact with the students. Once you deliver the lecture, by stopping you can put question, and then you can give chance to the students so that they can actively take part in the process of transaction, and they can become much more conscious or active participant in the learning process. And then active review sessions, active review in the classroom situation, active review sessions technique can be applied. Role play has special importance. Role play, you can play different role. Once you are to teach in lower class situation, Johnny, yes papa, eating sugar, no papa, telling lies, no papa. Then like that we can rhyme, or with the help of rhyme or rhythm we can help our students learn so many things. Then inquiry learning, we can inquire the progress level of the students. With the help of this technique, we can apply simple to complex process so much easily or fruitfully, scientifically, systematically, for helping students learn so much well. Then jigsaw discussion has special importance. This is one of the important technique of teaching in the classroom. Once you apply simple to complex principle. Then forum theater also has special importance. Theateric, once you are to teach literature, that has special significance. Forum theater. Experiential learning, once you are to deal with the problem of science, then this technique has special, or skill has special importance, and we come to the complex point this way. See, for bringing the students from the simple point of learning, stage of learning, to the complex point, we can apply so many skills, so many processes we are to cross. And directly if you start at the simple point and go to the complex, student will not be able to understand what you are going to translate to them or teach to them. But these are the different techniques which you can apply in the classroom situation just to help students learn with the help of the simple to complex learning principles. Now two things are to be made clear. One is triad groups as well as jigsaw discussion. Let us see the next slide, friends. See, triad groups. If you come to business place, innovative talent, expertise in higher class situation, triad group, this is executive is there. There is the technology, then sport, and there is the telecommunications, and beyond that. Now let us triad group see. Myself is here. Myself as an executive. This is the means of technology and telecommunications. The system is there, and beyond means you people are staying somewhere else, and I am transacting my ideas. This is three group exchange. Myself is staying here. The technological tools do have or have been used for the transaction of information and knowledge to you all, and you people are the participants who are to whom the things are to be reached. My transaction is to go to you, and that's why we three group, myself, the technological devices, and you the participants. This can be done or this can be applied, this system can be applied once you take the help of simple to complex, or once you apply the principle simple to complex. Let us go back to the next slide. Jigsaw discussion. Now you are to know about jigsaw discussion, because your concept should be quite clear first of all. Thenceforth, how jigsaw discussion can be applied in the classroom situation, you should know. The jigsaw classroom is a research-based cooperative learning technique invented and developed in the early 1970s. See, 50 years long back it was invented, it was discovered, where by Elliot Aronson and his students at the University of Texas and the University of California. Two great universities of the United States of America do have the contributions at the time of UC, helping us to get this skill, jigsaw discussion. And 50 long years back, this most important skill, with the help of which we can apply simple to complex principle of teaching, you see, this was developed. And you see, 1970, since 1971, thousands of classrooms have used jigsaw with great success. So this is used by thousands of classrooms since 1971 till today. So friends, we do not know what is happening in the world. We are where we are, where the world is going on. So this jigsaw discussion can be one of the most important, you see, technique of teaching once we are to follow the principle of simple to complex. And this is developed in two great American universities by Elliot Aronson, and since 1971 till today, this skill has been, or this technique has been in application since 1971 till today. Let us go back to the next slide. Where the University of Texas is, this is the explanation. Texas, concerning to Texas, this is the simple explanation, because some young students are here, so for them this information do have special importance, and that's why I thought at the time of preparing the lecture that it will be better to give some ideas concerning to Texas University. And friends, particularly the young students, I do have the advice to you. You please search internet and you see the beautiful, you see, campus and complexes of Texas University and dream to go there. Let us go back to the next one. Thenceforth, California University is, this is the explanation concerning to California University too, so that you can see it and become so much interested to know, you see, California University, where jigsaw classroom technique was developed long, means in 1970, and since 1971 till today it is being the application of which has been going on. So friends, California University so and so, and in internet, the young participant friends, for this, for you, this is the advice. You see the campus of California University, and at least you imagine, or at least you dream to go there. Let us go back to the next one. The jigsaw classroom has a 4-decade track record of successfully reducing racial conflict. What can be done? In that country, racial conflict can be reduced with the help of jigsaw class discussion and increasing positive educational outcomes such as improved test performance, reduced absenteeism of students, and greater liking for school. Means interest towards going to school can be well drawn in the mindset of the students with the help of jigsaw classroom technique once we use it. Next, let us go back to this. Jigsaw discussion, how we can do this. Report group, you see, home group, expert group, home group, jigsaw activity. Discussion is there 3. Number 2, expert group. Number 1, breakout. Here is breakout, expert group, report group, home group, discussion group, again home group. It's a cycling process. So friends, directly going to school you never can help your students learn. Why students fail? Why there is mass failure? Because of so many defects in us. We have to understand we have to be much more concerned with all the recent development of teaching as well as development of different concepts which can easily be applied so that we can help students enjoy learning. So this is the process. You please, once you get time, you will see it and try to glimpse over the concept so that you can apply in your classroom exercise, in your classroom situation. Let us go back to the next one. Jigsaw discussion, another group, that is home group, expert group 2, expert group 3, expert group 4. There is interconnectivity or exchange of learning experiences. How we can help students learn so many difficult things. See friends, we have to try and we have to help and we have to help our students keep contact so that till they become satisfied or their concepts become clear, they get the chance of learning and become so much expert in the field of learning which you are going to transact to them or teach to them. Let us go back to the next slide. See friends, again, this is the jigsaw discussion group, and again, you see leadership, sustainability of study, cooperation, group work, then heterogeneity, equal opportunities for success is here, equal opportunities for success. Basically what we say, once results, just after the declaration of the results, we say that we had such and such poor students. Always we try to blame the students, but we do not see or we do not try to scrutinize our defects and drawbacks. So friends, let us become much more concerning to this process of scrutinization of our expertise, and we try to become, expert in utilizing all the latest developments in our own area so that we can help all students equally, means so that our students can get equal opportunity for equal success. Then positive solidarity, this is also another step which can be applied in classroom situation with the help of the application of the technique of jigsaw discussion, which was developed long back in 1971 in the University of Texas as well as California by 2 special groups under the leadership of a famous educationist. Let us go back to the next. See, just as in jigsaw puzzle, each student's part is essential for the completion and full understanding of the final product. So friends, there is total involvement of each of the students in the process of learning, and once students get the chance to involve themselves, they become so much practical in learning. And that's why practice makes man perfect, and that's why there is cross verification of the performance level of the students once the jigsaw classroom concept is utilized in the classroom situation. Let us go back to the next slide. Jigsaw, if each student's part is essential, then each student is essential, and that is precisely what makes this strategy so effective. Friends, each of the students in the classroom situation has special importance because they are to become the proper human resources of the society for social transformation, for the transformation of their own individual life, so that we can help them become responsible citizens to take part in the democratic exercises to make our democracy so much vibrant and dynamic. So friends, this is now simple to complex. How we can utilize, I am showing you the diagram. This is complex, this is simple. From this we can bring our students to this. Let us go back to the next slide. Gestalt psychology means as a whole, from part and whole principle. This is, I told you, Max Wertheimer. 3 names do have special importance or significance or connectivity with Gestalt concept. That is Wertheimer, Kohler and Kafka. And Max Wertheimer, this is the photograph or portrait of Max Wertheimer, and focus on perception and how perception influences thinking and problem solving. Gestalt means whole, configuration, pattern, and Gestalt psychologists illustrated how we tend to perceive separate pieces of information as integrated wholes. Oppose Wundt's approach in searching for basic mental elements because the whole is more than the sum of its parts. So friends, whole to part method is basically applicable in upper class learning situation. How? You see, trial and error method cannot be applied in upper or higher class learning situation. Suppose you are a doctor, you are in operation theater. If you apply trial and error procedure for, you see, successfully completing the operation activity, then what will happen, you think? The patient will die. Suppose you are a physicist and you are involved in the process of developing a particular device of science. If you apply, you say, trial and error procedure in such kind of high risk research, then the volume of expenditure will be much more higher and loss will be, if failure results, then loss will be enormous or huge. And that's why in higher class learning situation, particularly in the field of science and higher class learning situation, part to whole method is applicable. Means we have to understand the situation, glimpse over the situation with the help of rich or higher class intellectual capabilities, and we have to learn or solve different problems. And in research also, this Gestalt view has spatial applicability. Let us go back to the next slide. These are the three great Gestalt psychologists which I couldn't help you see, properly see, or properly I couldn't explain in my last class. So Max Wertheimer, Wolfgang Körner, and Kurt Kafka, these are three great German psychologists who developed Gestalt concept, means part to whole concept, which is going on in the field of teaching as one of the most important principles, and which has been included in the Spencer's 10 golden rules, which are treated as the maxims of teaching. Let us go back to the next slide. This is whole concept. See, so many things are there. This photograph is very fascinating and interesting. You see it, understand it, means there is the necessity of high intellectuality for having the concept or understanding, or you see, drawing this picture. Let us going back to the next one. You see, characteristics of this principle of whole to part. This principle of teaching, as mentioned in the initial part of our discussion, depends on the Gestalt theory of learning. It has Gestalt approach, that is whole to parts, is basically applicable in the field of art, music, literature, science, medical science, and similar subject or subject areas which include elements of appreciation. This principle of teaching specially emphasizes on the application of mental capabilities in learning. It emphasizes on insight for grasping ideas in a very systematic manner. This principle is specially applicable in higher order learning situations. Yes, let us go back to the next slide. This principle is not applicable in all the fields of teaching and learning. Friends, in each or in all fields we never can apply this. The teacher may face problem of deciding how large or small should be the content of problem for the application of this principle of whole to parts. As for example, in the field of geography, to give a clear picture of the whole world, the globe may be too complex to consider as a whole for a representation of the idea of the world in detailed manner, but to give a clear picture of India and its territories, the map of India may be considered as a whole first, and all the parts of the country may be explained in detailed manner in later situation or situations. So friends, whole to parts do have, this principle has special importance, and basically in the higher class learning situation, this principle has high applicability or possibility of high applicability in higher class learning situation. But in lower class learning situation, we never can apply this principle so much successfully, and that's why we have to take the help of other principles which are there in the field of psychology as well as pedagogy. So friends, for becoming successful in the field of education, maybe as a teacher, maybe as a researcher, maybe as an administrator, maybe as an educational officer, we are to be well acquainted with the science of teaching or all the recent developments as well as the concept of pedagogy. Thank you so much for today. The other parts I will discuss in the later classes or in the next time classes. Thank you.